Hello, welcome back to the channel. My name is Paul Mackay from Analogue Wonderland, and today I will be talking to you all about the wonderful film that is Kodak's Pro Image 100. Quick one before we get started: if you like film photography and want to see more videos like this one, film reviews, tips and tricks, that kind of thing, then please do make sure you're subscribed to our channel and notifications are turned on. Thank you so much. Pro Image is a film from Kodak that sits between the consumer films like Colour Plus Gold Ultramax and the professional films Ektar Portra within the colour range, hence its name Pro Image. I can't get out of my head though the fact that when FPP first got the hands of it they called it Pro Image for some reason, and now whenever I read it as Pro Image. One of those things. This film has actually been around for a while, which, if I'm being mean, you can probably tell from the artwork, but it has only recently come to the European and North American markets a couple of years ago. Kodak describe it as a medium speed colour film, which again I think probably dates the fact that that marketing text might have been written at the same time that the photos were taken for the box, because to call any colour negative film these days medium speed when it's 100 rather than slow speed is slightly optimistic, shall we say. It's a ISO 100 film. Kodak say that it is ideal for portraits, weddings and social events, which is terrible wording for the current COVID situation. I'm looking for a film that is perfect for non-social events, or social distancing rather than social events, but here we are. Since it's arrived in the European market, people have been really impressed with its performance against the professional films that it sits next to. But of course the price of this is 40%, give or take, less than Portra, less than Ektar, so it makes it a lot more affordable. What does that mean in terms of what your photos will get? Now you will see almost straight away when you shoot this and scan this that it has a fantastic colour rendition, that it deals with portraits, it deals with skin tones really beautifully, better than Ultramax and Gold than Colour Plus will do, so you'll see that step up in the professional quality. On the other hand, it doesn't have the level of fine grain of Ektar, it doesn't have the saturation of Ektar, not quite, and it doesn't have the lovely pastel tones and exposure latitude of Portra. So frankly, the performance does indeed sit between the consumer and those professional ones that we know, which means that the price point actually works really well. ISO 100 means that it does require quite a lot of sun. Kodak say that it can cope with underexposure reasonably well. I think that's true in terms of detail and grain. I don't think it is necessarily true in terms of colour and saturation. Very quickly, if you shoot this on a grey day in dim light, you'll notice the colours get washed out pretty fast. So this is a film that really loves sunshine, that loves bright light. When people review it, they talk about how it responds really well to flash, which is great news, especially at this time of year. And of course, portraits and weddings as recommended. Now I've said that it's been around for a while but only appeared in European and North American markets recently. That's because this film was designed, produced, formulated for Asian and South American markets predominantly. The big difference being the climate. This film, as a colour negative film, is unique in that it can be stored safely at room temperatures for long periods of time, including when the climate is hot and humid, as in many of those countries where it's produced for. This is wildly different to the normal motto for storing colour negative film, which is cool, dry and dark. This film does not need that, which makes it a brilliant for people who live in cool and dark countries. We may not need the hot and humidity day to day, although it's a useful thing if you don't have a particularly good film fridge, or if you know that your films might end up out of normal storage for an extended period of time. This will not degrade. It does make it a fantastic holiday film. Now originally I was going to wait to put it in the Wonderbox until we could all go on lovely summer holidays, but frankly I don't want to jinx it or wait any longer for that, so we're going to experiment with it now and enjoy the bright light. And the fact that it can cope in hot and humid might not be immediately relevant now, but it's a wonderful thing to know about the film for the future. And this is where it's really fitting beautifully to the Kodak portfolio. Notably cheaper than Portra and Ektar, but in bright conditions can perform nearly on a par with those. Slightly stronger, better colours, saturation, skin tones than Kodak Gold and Ultramax, but also one that you can genuinely leave in your camera bag in a car without worrying about the fact that it might over time get damaged by heat, by humidity in the air, anything like that. A really, really lovely film that has really strong reviews on the site, and if you haven't tried it yet, then enjoy it. For me, definitely ISO 100 is going to be a bright day. I'm going to be looking for those moments in the forecast where there's a break in the clouds. If that doesn't happen, again, this is going to be one that I'm going to whack the flash on. I've said it for a black and white film before Christmas. This is definitely one that for a colour film seems to respond very well. And definitely, I'm not going to be going to any weddings or social events anytime soon, but I'm sure that I can coerce my wife and daughter into standing still for some portraits. So that's going to be my piece of shooting with Kodak Pro Image. If you are a Wonderbox subscriber, please let me know what you're thinking of doing with it. If you've shot it before in the last 2 years since it arrived in market, please do share your experiences in the comments below so that people can learn what worked, what didn't. One other point to make is that unfortunately this film is not available in 120. It is only 35mm at the moment, but of course the hope is that if it becomes a big enough part of the Kodak business, then hopefully they will be able to bring it to medium format as well, because I would love a more affordable colour negative film in 120. So Kodak, that is my wish for this year. Well, yeah, I'll accept next year as well if it's going to take you some time. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please do like and subscribe. As I say, if you've shot this before, please do let us know how you got on, whether you agree with my conclusions, whether you agree with the reviews that you've seen. If you haven't shot it before, let me know how you're going to take advantage of great colours, great saturation, but an ISO 100 film at the moment. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again in the future.